Why you should look at everyone that you encounter as a ticking time bomb. That's the question a lot of us need to ask, and that's a lot that us we need to consider as far as our day-to-day reactions. That the people that we're engaging with and coming across, you know, are ticking time bombs. They have the potentiality to blow up at any second, actually maim, murder, or kill just a random person, at any given moment and not even think about what they're doing. These are the type of people that we're dealing with on a daily basis, especially in this country. You know, when I look at it, I see that a lot of people are living in their lower or sacral chakra. And what that means is that when you study the chakras, you know that the sacral chakra is the lowest chakra actually associated with the devil, being that it's associated with the color red. And when you think about those things that's associated with the lower chakra, it's things like fear, anxiety, distrust, hate, you know, insecurity, things like that. And a lot of us as black people, we're living on a continuous basis, and some throughout our whole entire lives until the point that we die, we're living in our lower chakra. We're living on a lower level of existence. We're never able to ascend up to any higher chakras. And a lot of that is due to situations either outside of our control or in our control. What I mean by that is, living in America, it's a constant emotional roller coaster. The media is always looking to put us on this anxiety driven, type of reality to where we're always worried about the next thing that's going to happen, you know, what's going to occur, what type of situations we're going to have to deal with, whether it's dealing with a damn virus, or losing our ability to, survive, keep food on our, you know, tables, keep shelter, anything like that. And it's not healthy or sustainable for a human being to live in that constant type of fear. But the situation that we live in on a regular basis, all of the media influences, the government that we're under, it seems like they get a kick out of keeping us on these anxiety driven, roads. Um, and that's not healthy for the average human being. And eventually people are going to break based on that. That's why I said most of the people that you encounter on a daily basis are ticking time bombs. You don't know what people can be dealing with at any given moment to where they just want to take their anger out on anybody, anyone. They don't care about the consequences. And you especially see this in the younger children. You see that these kids are walking around, they're just shooting each other, they're beating up on females, just any craziness that, even though these things have always been going on, we can definitely see that there's been a surge in the number of occurrences in the last couple of years. And that's because we're developing and adopting a world that's made to exist in their lower self, in their lower chakra. We're focused on materialism. The only thing we make credible or deem as successful in this life is chasing the bag, how much money you're able to obtain. And these things don't particularly make you happy. It's just that this is the status quo or the standard that we've set. Even the older generation, go make something of yourself, go get a high paying job. They never told us really the true things that are going to make you happy, as far as finding peace within yourself, making sure you have a level of, comfortability on a daily basis. And when I talk about comfortability, I'm not talking about the car that you're driving, the clothes you wear, or the type of house you're living in. I'm saying that on any given basis, with whatever situation may occur in your life, whether it's the loss of a loved one or serious injury or anything, do you have the fortitude within yourself to still find something to cling on to be happy? Do you have that mental ease? Do you have that adaptability? is your soul at peace in order for you to always be comfortable? You may not be comfortable. Like I said, living on the physical level, you're always going to encounter some type of hardship. And this is what's taught in, you know, Buddhist schools, that, you're going to eventually encounter some type of pain. It's inevitable. We're always going to encounter that. We're always going to lose someone. We're always going to experience a heartbreak or something like that. But do you have what it takes on the inside of you to resolve that and learn from those situations and to move on from that and don't let it become a inhibitor in your life? And that's what you're seeing with a lot of people. They they were brought up on this frequency that everything is supposed to be fun, everything is supposed to be a good time, and then when they do experience some type of hardship, they think that, oh, life has come down on me, everything is turned upside down. They're not understanding that this world is a training ground for your soul to evolve, you know and heighten itself. So in order for something to heighten itself or evolve, it has to go through hardships. Nobody's going to evolve if all they're attuned to is having a good time, getting high, getting drunk, having fun all the time. You're not going to want to aspire to be anything, you know, with that type of lifestyle. And that's what you're seeing with a lot of the youth. They're trained in this mentality that, oh, hardship is just temporary. So if I get to a position and status to where everybody accepts me or I have enough money, I don't have to worry about that. Everything will be fine. And if that's the case, why do you see all of these rappers and entertainers, individuals, overdosing, committing suicide, being in a situation that's taking their lives because they were given the wrong information and knowledge from a young age and weren't able to evolve in order to place themselves in a position to where they're able to find resolve in their own self. Their soul is what guides them instead of their futile, you know accomplishments or desires. And like I said, we have a whole group of people, we have a whole race that's living in their lower chakra. They don't know how to look outside of that. They think everything is supposed to be sufficing, or supposed to be built on sense perception. If it looks good, if it tastes good, if it sounds good, if it feels good, this is all I need to aspire to. They don't have that higher chakra activation to where they can see beyond the veil of the physical reality. They don't see the permeance of God on this realm, because even though it's invisible, you do still see signs and symbols that show that there's a higher power that's still acting on every level of existence. They're not able to see that. You can't see that when you're living in a lower chakra form of existence. So you see this with, like I said, this is why I tend not to try to judge or encounter various people on a regular basis. I don't try to approach them if they're trying to really start something with me, or if I see they have something going on with them, because you never know what an individual has going on at any given moment. And usually the energy that they're giving you is, incorrectly being directed towards you. It's really towards another situation or a person. But since you're the one that's, receiving that energy for them from them, and you're getting, fired up because of it, because energy is being transferred between any person that you encounter on a daily basis, they're going to take that as a threat. They're going to see you as a form of competition. You're going to be the one that they blow up on and probably kill you. So it's almost scary living in a world like that. But if you have the knowledge of self, if you understand what's going on, you can kind of move more, you know, tactfully through life and through situations. You're not going to become a slave to everybody's energy. You're not going to become a slave to how other people want you to react to them. You know, because our kids now, they're so on a level of, everything is supposed to be fun. There's supposed to be no type of hardship, in the images that the media gives them is not helping at all, because it's showing this illusionary lifestyle that we only know probably 1% of people is going to obtain. You know, everybody's not going to live a life like that. Everybody's not going to get a life like that. And we shouldn't even be wanting to always aspire to be like these people in entertainment. They have their own problems. We just see the image and the money and we think, oh, they have this great life. We don't know what's going on behind the doors, behind closed doors, you know. And a lot of our elders, they're teaching this to the children for them to aspire to be like this. And you wonder why the repetitive cycle of us living in our lower chakra or being such a acting in such devilishment, is occurring. We're not given any true knowledge of self at the end of the day. Religion isn't helping because from the things I'm hearing when I look at a lot of, you know, you know, church, proceedings or, information that's given out by the church, they're also on that same frequency as far as talking about how to get more money, how to use God to get what you want, a car, a house. So we're all living on this materialistic frequency, which is eventually spirit. It's not physically killing us. What we can say is physically killing us, but it's more so spiritually killing us, because these people don't even understand the doctrine that they're teaching from. Even the doctrine says that man shouldn't be chasing money, shouldn't be chasing materialism. But for some reason, the sermons and the message have turned into, okay, use God to get what you want. You know, people praying for cars, houses, things that's ridiculous when you got other people on the other side of the world. They probably praying for where their next meal gonna come from. And they don't have a choice, you know? So that's why I'm saying, people are ticking time bombs because we're living on such a low frequency as humans. I actually see it as it's sad being that out of all the accomplishments we're able to read and see throughout history, that we've actually devolved from that rather than evolve. You know, man has actually gone backwards, and mostly it's because of the technological advancements. The technological advancements have, taken place, you know, it has taken over for spiritual advancement. Man doesn't think they have to aspire to, higher deeds or, higher values or, higher knowledge because, oh, I have this device in front of me that does all the thinking for me. When this device is an inanimate being. It's not a real conscious being, but people still let these things think for them, which ultimately shuts down their ability to think for themselves or to aspire for higher things. So that's why you see so many people being influenced by the media. You see people so indulged in their technology, they can't even look up for a second to see the permeates of God or see the creation of God, you know? So, and with the messages, we all know that the government in certain countries are using these apps and social media things to promote and influence you in certain ways. So just think of someone that's on that all day, not taking a break. What is their thought pattern? What type of person are they going to become to be? They might not even be a thinking sentient being anymore. They become just an extension of that technology, which is inanimate. It's not even a real person. It's not even a form of consciousness. They're just an extension of that, you know? So you see people developing anxiety, ADHD, things like that, because they're so involved with this technology that it's further activating or helping that lower chakra over encompass all other chakras. The other chakras can't even open up or breathe because the lower chakra is so overactive, you know. And you see that going to a lack of empathy. People don't have empathy for one another anymore. People don't care to know what you're going through or what you're thinking. You have situations to where people that you so call friends, they'll literally kill you, you know. So we just have situations like that. So I always like to wrap up with a point of my message. And I guess the point of this message is that, let's stop being so dependent on these, on this technology. Let's take a break from that. Let's get back to what our ancestors did as far as studying the stars, studying the movement of the stars and the planets, studying nature, trying to understand how the unseen, which we refer to as God, permeates this realm of existence, and how we can be able to activate our higher chakra based on that energy that's permeated. Because we're not going to be able to see it or feel it, if we're always looking down, if we're always looking at some gadget or gadget, we can't experience that. So that's the point of my message, is that we have to work on getting out of our lower chakra and raising our consciousness, higher, because like I said, when you look at all of the advancements our ancestors did, and I'm not just talking about black history, I'm talking about going back into antiquity, the building of pyramids, you know, things like that. The way that our ancestors were able to chart the stars and write stories that, helped our soul evolve. They didn't have these distractions that we have today. And a lot of the stuff we study is coming from them. That's the foundation of all of our knowledge now. But man wasn't meant to just settle on that which was created in antiquity. We're supposed to continue building on that. And like I said, we think we're building because we as humans, we've created another, version of a phone, or we have a bigger TV, or we have a car that can drive by itself, which is, like I said, ultimately making us lazy, mentally and physically. We have to get back on the level of our ancestors and, like I said, build upon that foundation so we can become the higher conscious beings that we're meant to be. A lot of things are not going to change in this earth realm until we evolve in consciousness.